So imagine stepping onto the golf course, a fresh breeze brushing past, the sun is gleaming, and in your hands is your trusty golf driver. But then you proceed to hit driver shots like this, and like this, all day long. I know, we've all been there. So what do? Well, you could go out and buy a new golf driver, and that's exactly what I did just a few short months ago. Now, for the past 4 years, I've been using a Ping G410. And to be honest, I was mediocre at best with it. So this spring, I decided it was finally time to buy a new driver. And in doing so, I tested out all the latest in drivers from the big brands, including the Ping G430, the Callaway Paradigm, the Titleist TSR, and the TaylorMade Stealth 2. And finding out that it outperformed the other brands, I went ahead and bought a Ping G430 off the rack. And man, was I excited. Within just a couple of weeks, I really started seeing improvement in my drives. But there was just one brand that I was not able to test out, and that was PXG, and their latest 0311 Gen 6 driver. So when I heard about the PXG Gen 6 Driver challenge, similar to the Pepsi and Coke challenges from back in the day, I became very intrigued. So here's how it works. If the PXG Gen 6 driver doesn't outperform your current driver by delivering either more distance or a tighter dispersion during your fitting process, PXG will give you a $100 Mastercard Rewards Card. Well, guess what, Bob Parsons? Challenge accepted. And in today's video, we're gonna go to PXG headquarters in Scottsdale, Arizona to compete in the Gen 6 Driver Challenge to see if it really can kill the bigger brands. So let's do this.
Paul, thank you for coming in today, man. We're excited to have you in.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We're gonna try out the Gen 6 Driver Challenge. What are you playing with right now?
In terms of driver, I'm using a Ping G430 Max.
Working pretty well for you?
Yeah, a lot better than it was before. I had a Ping G410 before that.
Okay. Kept it in the family there. What would you say is a typical miss for you? When you miss with that, is it more left, more right?
More right, for sure.
More right, okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So what is this challenge right now? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so the challenge, basically what it entails is we're just gonna go head to head against whatever you're playing now. So whatever brand, whether you were fit or not fit, you get your best 3 shots against our best 3 shots. So we'll build you up, we'll get you fit for one, maybe the Ventus shaft, maybe not, and then we'll have our best 3 and kind of look at the dispersion, the total distance. If you can get your total distance and a tighter dispersion, then you win a $100 Mastercard gift card. Well, we'll get you rolling. Let's have you hit a few here, just kind of get loosened up. That's our new Gen 6 iron there as well, just while you're getting loosened up. Obviously not fit to you, but we can get you back in some other time, maybe get you dialed in for a set of those too.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I said the 0311s and I really liked them a lot. They're they're amazing.
How often do you get out to play?
3 times a week, I'd say.
Very nice.
By far, probably the best shot I've ever hit.
Yeah.
And I mean,
car knows what they're doing for sure.
That's amazing. Like that shaft alone, like had added like 10 yards off my shot. I was like, holy crap.
I believe it. Starting to turn over there. I mean, that's pretty good right there. 6,000 spin, 64 carry.
What was the carry on it?
164
Holy
carry.
Holy crap, with a 7-iron? That's
about
crazy.
5,900 spin, that's about where you want it. Right between there and like 6,500, that's a great number.
I mean, we're not doing this today, but like,
yeah.
Honestly, like this is going further than my my current gamer by about 10 yards. So
and this is just
that's super impressive actually right out of the gate.
Something we just built up for you, right? So you come back for another hour with us, we'll get you dialed in, my friend. So, like I said, here's your gamer. We'll have you just hit 5 shots. We'll take a look at some numbers, delete 2 of the misses maybe, and then we'll build you up a Gen 6, see what we can do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was weird. There we go.
Ball there. Would you say that's a kind of a typical ball flight for you?
Yeah.
When you catch it clean?
I would say so.
We're getting nice and warm though.
Yeah, we're getting warmed up.
There you go.
There we go.
Ball speed.
There we go. Now I'm hitting them.
Pretty consistent with the other shot there. Would you say you generally play a pretty high ball flight, or?
medium to high, not like super high or anything like that.
Okay.
I know the forgiveness on the club kind of makes it go higher, doesn't it? Usually.
Potentially. It depends on how you're trying to achieve that forgiveness, right? There's a couple different ways to get there. Highest ball speed of the day right there so far.
I felt low in the face. I don't know if that's good or not.
Yep. Perfect.
Is it?
Yep.
It felt low.
It was low. Club head speed is kind of what we needed though. Okay. All right, Paul. So we hit our 5 shots with your driver. These are kind of the 3 that we selected as your 3 better shots. As far as distance and dispersion, we're looking at about 258 on average after the rollout. So kind of right in line with what you said you're seeing outside. You know, on a good drive, we're looking at 250, 255, 260. Our side total, we're averaging about plus or minus 108. So that's kind of measuring the standard deviation, if you will.
So what does that mean? Like so 108 feet, I guess?
Yeah,
or
108
like
feet, meaning
from center or
from center, but it's measuring your dispersion, right? So it's measuring one shot versus the next.
how?
So
Yeah, it's not tight. It's saying there's 108 feet of.
exactly. In a standard deviation, essentially, you're jumping from one shot to the next. We're 108 feet apart. So that doesn't mean we're always going to be 108 feet offline.
Yeah,
right?
but
you
on
might
my
have
best
one
shots, like my best shots right now, today, on these distances, this is what my dispersion is.
Yeah,
108
we're looking
feet
at maybe
circle.
one that's
Yeah.
like 50 feet right, 50 feet left, right?
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
We're definitely going to have some good shots down the middle, but we want to tighten that dispersion.
That's what we want,
for sure.
exactly.
Exactly. So we're looking at about 103 miles an hour club head speed, and that's pretty typical, right, for that shaft. It's a good speed to be at. Spin rate a little bit higher than I'd like to see it. So that's at 4,000. In a perfect world, we're probably somewhere mid to high 2000s, maybe low 2000s.
So why is it so high, the spin rate on this driver?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of loft at impact. So right now it's 14.4. That's not terrible. If we can get that a little bit lower for the dynamic loft, that just means we're adding a bunch at impact, which is going to produce a good amount of spin. So that's generally why we're seeing it. Occasionally having a slightly negative attack angle produces a little bit of extra spin, but not usually enough to hurt you too much. But I think the biggest thing is figuring out what loft we want to put you in, and maybe another shaft that times up with you. It makes it a little easier for you to close the club face. Paul, so what I got built up here for you is our Gen 6 0311. We're going down to a 9 degree to start off with, though. So we're going a little bit lower because, like I said, we're launching it a little high, spinning it a little bit too much. Peak height a bit higher than we want to see it. And we're starting with one of our stock shafts here. It's a Project X Hazardous. And we're going to start in a stiff shaft like what you got now. Pretty standard weight setup, pretty standard hosel settings. We'll play around with those probably here in a little bit. But we're going to have you start there, and we'll play around as we go.
Cool. All right, I'm excited. Let's do this. Yeah. You get underneath that one?
Yep, just a little bit underneath that one.
Man.
How does the weight feel? Does it feel heavy, light?
Feels really light.
Really light? Okay. Let's add some weight to it. Kind of give you a little bit.
I'm also used to a longer shaft, so I'm like trying to figure out like.
Feel like where you got to stand for it? Sure.
And also used to like, so the face on, or the loft on the Ping was a 10.5, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're at a 10.5 there.
Yeah.
We're coming down to a 9 because we were just kind of spraying that one a little bit higher than we want to see. We want kind of a lower, more penetrating flight. So get the launch angle down, get the spin rate down.
And get more distance.
Even if we don't increase the carry distance,
yeah,
we're going to increase that rollout distance by quite a bit. So we're just playing around with a little bit of weight setup here.
I know it went right, but I had better contact, it felt like.
Yeah, much better contact there. Ball speed jumped up. Just kind of left the face open a bit.
That's okay for me because I think like now I know where to stand.
Exactly. Exactly, and I'm going to try something, another shaft here, same length, because again, we're striking it well, we're getting there, but I want to try another shaft with just a little bit lower torque, so it should be a little bit easier for you to turn it over. jumped up there. I like that. I know we're a little off to the right there, okay? But
That's all
again,
right.
that ball speed creeping up. Got it up to 147 there. 140 smash, 247 carry, out to 262.
Holy crap. So that was solid, I felt like.
Yeah. Yeah, now we're just, I mean, that's on a rope there. You couldn't walk out and place that any better in the fairway. A little bit high for the spin. Jumped up to about 4150 there. So we're kind of back to where we were with the spin rate at the Ping. But even then, it's just more efficient. 146 ball speed, 241 on the carry, rolling out to 252. Good strike there. All right, let's play a little guessing game. If you had to guess, what do you think that carried and rolled out to?
I think that carried, and I think this is where it messes with my head. I think that carried like shorter because it didn't go as high, and I always used to see high shots.
Okay.
But I'm probably thinking actually it probably went further because it was more of a bullet than it was like a skyrocket.
How about a 251 carry out to 272?
Jeez Louise.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
So that's that's it. Like that's kind of where
That's a great setup there. That's a great setup so far. All right, Paul, so we hit the Gen 6 driver, this graphite design TP6S here. Seemed to work out pretty well for you. With a little bit lighter swing weight, like I said, when we started with your Ping, we were at about E1, which is very heavy for the driver. We actually took a little bit of length off, took some weight out of the club head. We're about D5 right now. So just being a little bit lighter in the club head, you can see we picked up a little bit of speed, a little bit less than 3 miles an hour there. As far as spin rate, we brought it down quite a bit here.
Oh yeah, a lot.
I mean,
Even my high, like my consistency.
As far as the carry distance, we picked up a little bit of yardage here as well. And as far as the total distance, we picked up some yardage as well. And you can see kind of from the dispersion chart here. Right, we're still going to spray it every once in a while. We're still working on the swing maybe.
That's right.
Getting used to the new driver for sure, but a heck of a lot tighter dispersion overall. And I think we got you a pretty good new driver here.
So that's amazing to see that too. So, I mean, right now it looks as though my club head speed goes up almost 3 miles per hour, about 2.8, which is crazy. I mean, same swing, right? And I'm having less spin rate by about 550 or 540, that's nuts too because I'm not, launching it as much as you're saying. And then, what I think is really cool to take away here is that I actually my dispersion is tighter, even though I'm not a perfect player. It's 40 feet less than it was before on my best shots with the Ping G430s. That's just nuts. So it's like my miss hits are not as bad and more controllable and savable, I guess, which kind of blows my mind that when you actually do get fitted for a club, with the data that it works.
And the Gen 6 driver, I mean, I've got one in the bag right now. The dispersion, it gets so much tighter. Really, really high MOI, which stands for moment of inertia. Basically measures the club's resistance to twisting. So if you hit it a little off the toe, a little off the heel, with the Gen 6 driver, it's just going to perform a little bit better.
Now, also one last question for you too. So what is the launch angle? What's the loft on that compared to what I had on the?
Yeah, so that's another thing there is with your Ping, we started at the 10.5 degree. We went down to the 9 to try to get the launch angle down.
Wow.
Launch angle is actually a little bit higher, but we're launching it higher with lower spin, right? That's the key.
Yeah, you're not doing a ton of spin on that launch.
Exactly. So that's the key there is that higher launch with lower spin. When you get that high launch with high spin, that's where you kind of start getting into trouble. That ball just sort of balloons, and you lose a lot of the rollout, especially here in the valley, right? It's firm fairways. You want to roll that ball as far as you can.
Yeah, sort of dry.
Exactly.
You roll forever.
Exactly.
So it'd probably go even further than what it's showing here.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. Usually outside, it rolls quite a bit more than what it does on track meets.
I mean, it's a phenomenal driver. I didn't have a chance to test this driver out this year when I tested everybody else. So it's really cool to see it. I mean, this is I picked the 430 after testing all the other ones, and now it's this one's better than the 430, and it's built for me, right? And it's gonna be that much more better of a player. And there's little things that actually help you with your game that you can actually get those strokes down.
Oh yeah.
And as I get used to that driver, it'll probably be even better,
Agreed. How long have you been playing the G430?
Probably 2 months.
Okay. So yeah, give the Gen 6
2 months, and then the number's probably gonna be completely different. To be honest, I'm really blown away with the PXG 0311 Gen 6 driver. And after seeing the numbers during my fitting, it's clear that this is a driver that doesn't just meet expectations, but it sets them. And I wish I had done this before I went out and bought the Ping G430. So if you're on the fence wondering if the Gen 6 driver is worth the investment, then I would highly recommend doing the challenge because you have really nothing to lose and everything to gain. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. So please like and comment down below what your thoughts are on the PXG Gen 6 driver and if you'd be willing to do the challenge. And be sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm always giving away the golf gear I review here on the show only to you. But if you want to see what we thought of the Ping G430 driver, then be sure to check out this video right here where I put it to the test. And I'll see you guys out on the course.